Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. Today, we will tell you about one-to-one marketing in e-commerce solutions and how it can be implemented with Sitecore Customer Data Platform and Sitecore Send. Let me first introduce speakers. My name is Sergey Baranov. My colleague name is Igor Zharikov. We are Sitecore lead developers at Brimit with many years of Sitecore experience. Hi, Martin.
Hi.
So, this is agenda of our presentation. First, we will have a fast overview of one-to-one marketing, just to know what is it and why it's important for business. I will show you what one-to-one marketing consists of and how to implement it in real projects. Then I will tell you about different types of user segmentations and explain more detailed segmentation by customer lifetime value. Because it's one of the most important areas in e-commerce at all. In the second part of our presentation, Igor will discuss marketing campaign strategies and introduce you to the out-of-the-box features of the Sitecore Send and CDP that should be used for one-to-one marketing. And at the end of our presentation, we will show you our demo solution and how it works in real world. And of course, we will be glad to answer your questions. So let's start. So, what is one-to-one marketing? One-to-one marketing is a strategy that focuses on customer needs to establish strong relationships with consumers and ensure personalized interactions. This means a business would likely promote certain products to a customer or to a small group of customers based on their preferences. Uh, it enables brand to boost customer loyalty and improve customer lifetime value. And before we start deep diving in one-to-one marketing, let me answer the question why one-to-one marketing is important for e-commerce. And let's start with the global statistics. As you can see, more than 19% of consumers are most likely to shop with brands who provide relevant offers and recommendations. 72% of consumers only engage with marketing messages that are customized to their specific interests. 80% of customers who classify themselves as frequent shoppers say that they only shop with brands who personalize their experience. 90% of consumers are willing to share their behavioral data if some additional benefits are provided that makes shopping much easier and cheaper. And since one-to-one marketing is based on individual relationships with customers, you need to perform several actions to establish good communication. And we have prepared four mandatory steps to build trusting relationships with your customers and increase profits. Let's review them to see how to get started with one-to-one marketing. And the first step of one-to-one marketing is identification. And during this process, you just collect data about your customers. At this stage, you need to gather as much customers' information as possible. Identify the profiles, interests, needs, preferences, expectations of your target audience so that you can effectively reach these people. The next step is differentiation. This step of the marketing plan involves analysis. Help your business segment users into easily identifiable clusters for better targeting. Divide your target audience into segments based on their needs or any individual parameters. This will help you reach consumers with the right solution or customized offers. For instance, we can develop personalized campaigns for different segments based on their preferences and needs. The third step is interaction. You can use the collected information from previous steps to establish contact with your existing or potential customer. reach out to them using the channels that are most likely to elicit a response, like emails, push notifications, socials, advertising, etc. Because a conversation always leads to conversion. And the last step is customization. All the personalization happens at this stage. Customize products, services, and messages to your customer. Use all available opportunities to close the deal. Let's now take a closer look at each of the steps to understand where and how we can get the information that we need and how to use it. For identification stage, we can find all data that we need in Sitecore Customer Data Platform. This includes customer profiles, orders history, all interactions with our brands, experience execution, and all kinds of statistics. At differentiation step, we need to divide our target audience into segments based on their needs or any individual parameters. And there are four main types of market segmentation. First is demographic segmentation. It's the most common type of marketing segmentation. Demographic segments can be grouped by age, nationality, gender, family size, income, etc. This type of information is just some customer properties that can be stored in user profiles. Second type is location segmentation. Geographic segments are based on the customer physical location. These market segments can be based on factors such as country, city, primary language, population, etc. For example, by using Sitecore geolocation service, you can easily retrieve this type of information. Third type is lifestyle segmentation. It organizes customers based on what they prefer and what they value. Other indicators can include variables such as lifestyle, attitudes, interests. And this type of information is commonly used in recommendation systems and can be identified by using some recommendation algorithms. We will not deep dive into recommendations in this demo. There will be a list of useful links at the end of our presentation where you can find some useful links and videos about recommendation systems in details. And the last and the most interesting type of segmentation is behavioral segmentation. Behavioral segments is grouped by how existing or potential customers engage with your business. It seems clear, but it's not so clear how it can be implemented, right? And let me introduce you to segmentation by customer lifetime value. So here you can see a so-called RFM analysis. RFM is the number one marketing strategy for segmenting customers by using data that you already have. This analysis method evaluates customer spending patterns across three areas: recency, frequency, and monetary value. These RFM metrics are important indicators of customers' behavior because frequency and monetary value affects customer lifetime value, and recency affects retention or measure of engagement. Everyone wants a repeatable and predictable way to grow their business. And to do that, you would need to be something like mind reader to know exactly what each customer wants from you at every stage of your business. And that's kind of what RFM is. But how we can calculate RFM values? Your entire customer base is effectively assesses across three dimensionals, like recency, frequency, and monetary. Recency is a score of how recently the customers bought from you. I usually express it as a ranking score of 1 to 5. frequency, a score of how frequently they buy from you. Usually, you only take history for last 1 or 2 years, and again express a ranking score of 1 to 5. And monetary value, it's how much customers have spent with you in total over this period, 1 or 2 years, and again rank it of 1 to 5. But what I mean by rank it of 1 to 5, how do you calculate this ranking? First, you analyze the customers you have got and work out sensible range for recency, frequency, and monetary value. Then you split that into 5 equal buckets, either equal in size or range of values. But it often works better if the buckets are an equal distribution of customers. And you can then put each customer into one of these buckets and give them a score. But just cluster numbers are not meaningful, and they're combined very often into segments of user behavioral groups that are understandable for marketers. As you can see, we can, for example, select segments like loyal customers, at risk, hibernating, lost customers, new customers, etc. And there are a lot of predefined marketing campaigns and actions in RFM analysis that you can apply to each segment. RFM analysis is usually visualized in a flatter uh, two-dimensional image, making it much easier to understand. The horizontal axis is recency, vertical axis is frequency. In a two-dimensional visualization like this one, new customers arrive at the bottom right as new customers, and if they begin to spend frequently, they rise up to potential loyalists, loyal customers, and eventually become champions. But on the other hand, loyal customers can drift, for example, into need attention cluster, then at risk if they begin to spend less often or have not ordered in a while. And it's very important to catch a moment when customer is moved from good customer lifetime value segment to bad, and enroll this customer to marketing campaigns for retention for this particular segment. Last two steps are interaction and customization, and let me pass the speech to my colleague Igor for more detailed explanation.
We can start with marketing campaign patterns and discuss what one-to-one marketing can offer and how business can benefit from it. As was mentioned previously, each customer group has different needs, so it will always better to communicate with each group according to their relevant requests rather than, for example, static email campaign targeted the whole customer database. And with one-to-one personalized mail marketing, we can help user to move from worse segment to better. So for example, from need attention to loyal customers or in champions to increase their loyalty and of course get higher revenue. So let's take a look at a few email campaign examples which target different user groups. We can start with Reactivation campaign, which is really good example of one-to-one marketing. So our goal is to try to interest users who spend less often or haven't ordered in a while. So this campaign can be applied to users in hibernating, at risk, or can include them segments. So we discussed who we are targeting, which customers for this reactivation campaign, and now let's take a look onto it. As you can see, the idea is step by step remind user about us. On the first step, we provide some personal recommendations, then wait a few days, and if user didn't complete the order, we provide the promo code and popular products as well. Then wait again and remind user about promo. In this campaign, we use the following items to improve the email efficiency. The first one is we're trying to use personal recommendations, so it always better for user to see the products based on its own interests. Also, we use promo. Everyone loves a bargain. It always can give a food for thought for hibernating customers. And as well, we are not spamming the users. We patiently wait one after one communication with user for its next action. In the end, if the order is completed, the user is likely to move from one segment to another. So it can be moved, for example, to loyal or potential loyal customers. And if the order is not completed, the RFM score probably will be recalculated and it will be decreased during the next segmentation. So we need to target different campaign on that user or actually forget about this user. Another good example of one-to-one marketing is one-to-one campaign. Thanks that we can engage new customers into interaction with our site from the very first moment so that we can increase the customer retention. Here on this blog scheme, we can see there is new customer is registered. We send the mail confirmation to confirm the mail address. And then we keep communication with the customer, maybe with some popular products or special offer products. And if email is not confirmed, the user can be removed from the database after some time. After second welcome email, we can continue the campaign chain to improve our relationships with this new customer. One more example is abandoned cart email campaign, which reminds customers about missing or forgotten purchases. According to statistics which Moosend have, you can see it on the bottom of the slide, near 69% of all carts are abandoned. That means that they are not converted into a purchase. But at the same time, if we send 100 abandoned cart emails to our website users, near 45 of them will be opened, 21 email will be clicked, and 11 users will complete their purchase. Of course, it's not 100 completed order, but still 11 better than 0. So that means that with abandoned cart email, we can return user to our website. And here as well, we're using a few tricks. So we patiently remind user about not completed order. We're not spamming the user. Then we can provide some promo code on abandoned items in the cart. And after some period of time, we are waiting for discounts and notify user for discounts for the products in the shopping cart, because when it happens. Of course, it's not complete list of email campaigns. And here on this slide, I will mention a few other examples. So, happy birthday campaign to congratulate customer with his birthday. maybe with some special offer, a loyalty campaign to reward most loyal customers, repeat purchases reminder to ensure customer doesn't run out of stock with some products, survey buyers campaigns to learn more about real customer experience and to keep track where and what to improve, and as well as upsell and cross-sell and other product recommendations to increase revenue after purchases. But of course, all those campaigns are depends on specific of the business, so different type of campaigns can be used. And if to talk about marketing automation with Moosend, the best way to enroll one-to-one marketing is marketing automation. So it is automated plans which can be configured from scratch or based on the predefined recipe. A few of them are shown here on this slide, but later during the demo I will show you in more details what Moosend can provide for us. So what is actually automation plan? Automation plan looks like a block scheme. You can see also sample automation on the right side of the slide. It contains trigger, filters, and actions, and also we'll closely take a look on it later during the demo. And actually all email campaigns mentioned previously during this presentation can be configured with Moosend automation plan. So, but how to implement CLV-based email marketing with Moosend? I came with an idea to use text. As you can see on this slide, each subscriber of the email list can have a list of text assigned, and assigning example given reactivation tag means that this customer should be enrolled into the reactivation email campaign. And in the automation plan, we have a trigger called when a specific tag is added, meaning as soon as tag is added, the user should be enrolled in the campaign. That's it. We're starting to communicate with our customer. I would also mention that the tag can be added manually in the email list or via API. And of course, for our automated segmentation of users, we use an API method to set the tags. Performance management of the campaign is also an important part of marketing. It's always important to track it. And if to talk about CDP performance, unfortunately, it's not captured in the CDP by default because for the bound experience, because the conversation is not happening in the same session. So, for example, customer can receive an email but not open it right at the time he received it, but open it 5 days later, so the session will be another, and we can't track by default the performance. So but to keep track it, we're using the UTM params in the URL. So using UTMs, we can track exactly how many customers are clicking on a campaign and check the conversation rate. And later I will also show you possibilities of tracking in Moosend. So to sum it up together, how it all works together, on Sitecore CDP and commerce side, the customer database is segmented. As we know, the customer segment, the call is made, the API call is made into Moosend to set the tag, and it triggered the automation plan And as tag is added, the user is enrolled into automation plan, so the email campaign is started. So now let me turn it over back to Sergey. So we will start the demo.
So this is our demo website. It's a e-commerce solution where we sell perfume. Our solution is connected to Order Cloud, where we store all our products, our users, and orders. Also, it's connected to CDP to track all interactions, execute some personalized experiences, trigger some operations, etc. Also, our solution is connected to Sitecore Send to track some interactions, enroll users to marketing campaigns, etc. So as you can see, I am right now anonymous user, uh, and even if I am anonymous, I see some recommendations because website, first of all, is a number one channel for your conversation with customer, and you should recommend something, remind something, notify your customers, ask for feedback, surveys, etc. If you want to have one-to-one marketing in action, it must have. Let me log in. So once I log in, I will see, for example, my abandoned products as a reminder to complete a purchase. It's some kind of conversation with the customer. Also, you can see that as a known user, I see other recommendations. Because I am logged in, I have a lot of orders, and it's machine learning based recommendations that takes into account my previous orders history. And let me switch to Sitecore Customer Data Platform and to show you how you can implement and use customer lifetime value segments. So to calculate RFM values and assign customer lifetime value segments for our customer, first of all, we need to extract orders history. And one note, if you have any other storages of your orders, like for example your own database or order cloud, I recommend to use this storage to extract order history because it will be much easier to do than in CDP. But anyway, let me show how you can do it in CDP. You can create audience sync with parameters like this. For RFM calculation, we only need to know order identifier, user identifier, date of order, and monetary value of order. There are some additional parameters, but they are not used in RFM calculation. And after you create your audience sync, you can run it, wait for some time until the synchronization will be finished. And then you need to go to Amazon file storage, download your report, and parse JSON data to your model for RFM calculation. If you are interested in how this process can be fully automated, just ping me somewhere in socials. I will share a code for you. Let me show you how RFM calculation works. Sorry. So once we have information about our orders, we can pass this list of orders to our backend and calculate RFM scores. Code is pretty simple. We have a list of orders as an input. We need to group all orders by user ID, iterate over list of our customers, calculate for each customer's real monetary recency and frequency values. There are decimal. And then we need to split all our orders history if in number of partitions that we need. In our case, we have 5 clusters for each axis. And next, we will determine R and F cluster for each of our customers. It's just a number from of 1 to 5. And in the end, by using information about what kind of each cluster our user is, we can identify what kind of behavioral customer lifetime value segment our user is. Champion, at risk, promising user, and so on. So once we have information about our customer lifetime value segment in CDP, sorry, let me show what we do after CDP calculation. After we calculate our RFM and customer lifetime value segments for each customers, we can update these values in user profiles in CDP. To avoid some unnecessary calls, we just compare a previous value of our customer lifetime value segment with new one, and if it's different, we send a request to CDP to update our user external property to new one, and also we refresh customer lifetime value tag in the Sitecore send that will enroll customer in one of the marketing campaign or remove it from existing. Let me switch back to CDP. So once we have information about our segments in CDP user profiles, we can easily create corresponding segments and use them, for example, for personalized experience to show some specific content for different type of users based on their customer lifetime value. So it's very easy to do. So here you can see values from our custom segmentation. You can create segments of any one of customer lifetime value segments or combination of any types of CLV segments and use it for some personalization. And let me also show you why we need to use UTM parameters. Now here you can see example of abandoned cart experience. It's this one experience that render some products if we have abandoned cart. And when we try to calculate performance, how much our experience improve our conversions, we, for example, can see that our conversions was increased by 6% or by 50 number of new conversions. But for example, as a marketer, uh, I want to know how many conversions of these 50 came from email campaigns. And it's easy to do by adding UTM parameters in your email links in your campaigns. And here in CDP, we can navigate to UTM tab. Wait a little bit and create a filter by our UTM parameters. We have UTM source Moosend, UTM campaigns parameters. And let me show how it works. And for example, as you can see, we have 3 conversions from 7 sessions that comes from our email campaigns. And here you can see our UTM source was Moosend and campaigns, UTM campaign stack was Reactivation. And that's all from my side. Let's switch back to Igor display to see marketing campaigns in action.
So if to talk about Moosend and how we can use and introduce one-to-one marketing with it, we should start with email list. So it's audience, it's a list of users which we're probably will be targeting. And as you can see here, sorry, let me go back. It is here. It is a list of all lists which are available in the Moosend, and this particular list from subscribers is the list for which is connected with our demo website. So here we have some statistics, some dashboard, and let me go to this all members section. So here we can see all the customers which are in this list. How members can actually appear here. To check it, we can use this source column. It's either an API integration, which means that the user should be created here via API call, or it can be tracked website visitor, which means that the user was identified on the website, which is connected with the Moosend. For our demo, we're using connection via CDP, but the most common way actually is to use the website's connection, which is provided by Moosend. So you should either use existing or create a new site, go to install connection script, and here it is the steps to install connection script on your website to start tracking, and it is also some sample events which you can send to the Moosend, like identity, track page view, add to order, order completed, or page viewed, and this is example for track product view event. Also, the sources for this tracking library is available on the GitHub, so it's publicly available by Moosend on their account in GitHub. If to go back to email list, to members of email list, another important column for us is text column. So again, with text, we are able to categorize users in our email list. We can easily add tag here. So we have about to sleep. We can add need attention, or we can remove it here manually. Yeah. Also, we can filter users by tags. And as I mentioned also previously, tag can be added manually here or from API. Then if to talk about automations, this is actually the heart of one-to-one marketing in Moosend. Again, in this section, you can see the list of all your existing automations, or if you can manage existing one or create new. So you have two options actually here, from recipe or custom automation. So from recipe is using the predefined templates, and custom automation is to create automation from scratch. As we can see here, there are lots of predefined recipes like abandoned cart, some loyalty program, happy birthday emails, some special offer reminders, and even more, it was somewhere, yeah, even weather-based upsell and cross-sell. So maybe a business is dependent on the weather. You can also use this predefined recipe in Moosend. So now let me show you the reactivation campaign. Everything in the automation in the Moosend start with a trigger. So we have a specific trigger. In our case, it's when a specific tag is added. So we specify the email list which we're interested in. Again, it's specific list for our website. We specify the tag, and also we can specify should we enroll user in this automation each time the tag is changed or only once. So as soon as user is added to this automation, we start communication with our user, and to do it, we're using so we're sending the email, and exactly this email contains product recommendation. So with Moosend, it's pretty easy to configure the product recommendations. So you should specify the container type. For example, for abandoned cart campaign, it can be used a specific cart abandonment container type, but as we're using here recommendations, so we can use the product recommendations, select a website, and then we can also specify the criteria by which we should sort our products. So it can be either item purchase, revenue, views, or AI. AI is personalized recommendations based on visited products, and this is really great for one-to-one marketing. Also, as Sergey mentioned about the UTM tracking, we include the UTM params here in this link to the product. So we specify UTM source Moosend, campaign reactivation, and use this Moosend specific syntax to render product title and the product link in our email. So let me go back to the automation. Also, as you can see here, this automation looks a bit large, but that's just because before each sending of the email, we have a filter that user is still in the campaign, and we also check was the purchase completed or not. So for example, if user already completed the purchase, we don't actually need to send reactivation emails for that user. Or if the tag was changed for the users, so we also don't need to do it. So before each email sent, before each communication, we're checking that the member tag still contains reactivation. And other emails are just text, so we're not including the product recommendations. And that's it. So overall, we're sending the email, wait for some period of time, then we're checking was the order completed or not, and then we again, after some period of time, remind user about our order, about our offer. Sorry. And now let me show how all the emails looks like. So I tested it on my local account. This is probably the most interesting email which contains some product recommendations and as well as a product link. So we'll go back to it a bit later. And other emails, as I mentioned, are just some text emails that we're trying to notify user about us, that so he hopefully will come back to our site. And as I mentioned, and as I focused on the product link, let me show you also the link which is here in the email. As we can see, it contains, it's a bit strange URL. It's not about the product link. So if we go to this URL, wait a bit, yeah, we get redirected to the product details page with all the UTM source and UTM campaign. But this link was automatically generated by Moosend, and it's used for Moosend tracking itself. So let me show it for you. There are two ways you can check the statistics, the reports for the Moosend. The first one is from this automation. In this context menu, we have view report, so we can go to it. Or the second option is from this automation main page. We can use this expand stats and click on this diagram, and we're still on the same page. So which statistics we can see here, and what is tracked by Moosend. First of all, we've seen some overall performance, some statistics by recipients, open rates, clicks, unsubscribes, and so on. Also, we can specify the by day, by hour, by months, opens, links clicked by months. We have no enough information. Also, we can track the recipient activity. So to whom we sent the email, who opened, who not opened. For some reason it's not loaded and who clicked. Maybe I need to reload the page. No, okay. Another example of statistics Moosend provide us is track link clicks. So it's an example email, and here we can see how many times someone clicked on the products. Also, we can see unique clicks and total clicks for each link in the email, and hopefully we can see also recipient clicks, but I'm not sure. Okay, maybe the next time. Yeah, sometimes you just need to reload the page to make these statistics loaded. Also, we can see statistics based on email client and devices, so where emails were opened, and as well track activity by location, by country, or even by city. I think that's all for the demo. Also, as Sergey mentioned, here we have some useful links which we used for during preparation for this presentation. And thank you for your time.